Are you making more money or less money at your job? Let's take a look at what's really happening in our economy right now and how it's affecting your wallet. In the 1970s and even into the early 1980s, average wages generally jumped up by 8 or even 9% every year. That's unheard of right now, especially before the pandemic. I remember my pay raise used to be capped at about 2 or 3%, and that was standard. Businesses wouldn't give raises larger than that. This now seems really low with inflation. And in fact, this year I was given what they consider a normal wage increase post-pandemic of around 4%. The national average for 2022 was in fact 4.6%, so I fell into that mid-category of pay raise. But with inflation currently higher than 8%, that pay bump is actually very low considering that rent has increased dramatically and gas is once again going up along with the price of food and everything else. So our pay is just not going as far as it used to go, and we are essentially taking a wage loss of about 4% each year. So what does that mean? We have to cut back our spending even further. We may have been able to save a little bit of money during the pandemic when the government was printing money, but most of that money went to businesses. Businesses received most of that money because the Fed was operating on the trickle-down theory that if they pay the top businesses to keep their doors open, eventually that money will trickle down to normal people like you and I. But as we all know, this doesn't usually happen. The businesses keep a lot of that money themselves. So even though normal people got a few $1,000s during the pandemic, businesses got hundreds of thousands of dollars during the pandemic. And right now, the little bit we were able to save is not going very far. So what do we do now? Cut down on everything. I don't go out to eat anymore. I buy medication in bulk to save. I do odd extra jobs and take less vacation. Others who are less well off have nothing to cut back on, and they're forced to take out credit or just go without. Unfortunately, it's a bad situation that will probably only get worse before it gets better, because the Fed will continue to raise interest rates until inflation starts coming down drastically. Businesses will lay off workers and cut staff, and they will not give pay raises. And this could keep us in a recession for even longer. But hopefully, if we get through the next 2 years, we should be able to emerge on the other side of this tricky situation. If you've learned something from this podcast, if it's made you think, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we'll see you next time on Shine 365.